Hey there, good peeps. Sammy here with another indie game to show you. This time we are looking at a game called Slavania. Now, this is, from what I can tell, a hand-drawn, brightly coloured Metroidvania with an overworld that is just absolutely destined to be explored. Okay, so to me, looks-wise, it looks really, really cool, really, really cute, really, really good. And I wanted to play this since I found the demo on Steam. So I downloaded it, and this is the demo gameplay that I'll be showing you today. But how does the game feel? How does it play? How does it control? How does it handle? You're about to find out. I really, really appreciate you watching this video. If you like what I do here and you want to support this cause, feel free to give a like and subscribe to this channel because it really helps it out. Thank you so much indeed. Let's move on. Okay, so Slavania then. As I said, hand-drawn art style with hand-drawn animations, really cute feel to it, and looks really vibrant. And if you like that sort of thing, this kind of might be up your street. But I will just mention some things that may need to be improved really in order for me to go any further and purchase the full game. I'll get into why, but I will also get into what I like about the game. First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read to you the description on Steam, which will give you a brief synopsis and a brief overview of what the game is all about. So, Slavania, a fantasy Metroidvania with a moral choice and hunting the bosses who are not going to patiently wait for you in their lair. Study the monsters, track them, kill them, exploration of the vast, interconnected fairy tale world, an acrobatic combat system, and weird locales are what awaits you. Okay, so a pretty good description as to what you might find in this game. So I was pleased to read such depth in this synopsis because I know a lot of these games on the Steam page don't offer you such. But if you want to find this game for yourself, by the way, in the description you'll find the link to where you can download this demo. Maybe wishlist the full game if you want, if this is your sort of thing. So go ahead and click on that if you like. But what I found about this game that I really liked actually, and that I feel has a lot of potential, is your weapon. Your main weapon is a spear, which apparently has your soul trapped inside it as the story goes, and your character as a whole is immortal, but your soul is trapped within this spear. And you can do a lot of stuff with this. So you can throw your spear and launch it against sort of rocks or buildings and stuff like that, and then climb up the spear to progress even higher. I thought that's a pretty cool move. And later on in the game, you'll develop new abilities to use your spear with. Obviously, you can fight sort of armed combat with enemies with your spear as well, and chain combos together, which is pretty cool. And for me, I think that's actually the best thing about the game so far. In terms of just playing through the demo, I found that was the most enjoyable aspect and best feature of the game. But that's not to say the rest of the game is not good or doesn't live up to the potential, because I think it does. But there are some points I want to bring up that may need a bit of work before the full release, which I don't know when it is, by the way. It says on the Steam page that it's going to be 2023 when this game fully releases, but I don't have an actual date as such. So starting off with how the game looks, like I said, it looks good. I like the hand-drawn aspects of games like this. I do think that is good, but to me it just seemed like sometimes there was a bit too much going on the screen, if you know what I mean. Whether that's like too much in the background compared to what's going on in the foreground, like lots of enemies and stuff like that. Also, it looked like the camera was a bit too much zoomed in. This might just be me, and I apologise if no one else feels this way. I understand that, but it just felt like there was just a bit too much going on for me, and like maybe it just needs to be toned down a little bit, just so that we can all sort of take in what looks good about it and not just be distracted by so much stuff going on the screen at once. I don't know. I don't know how anyone else feels about that. Let me know if you disagree in the comments, though, by the way, because I welcome your arguments, honestly, I really do. But apart from that, the game does look good. Audio-wise, it sounds okay, however, like, at some moments the music just cuts out, like, completely. Like, you'll be running from one screen where there's music, and then you get to the next screen, and then it just for some reason cuts out completely. So I don't really understand why it does that. But I found that to be the case several times throughout this demo, which you'll get a good hour out of, by the way. You'll probably at least get an hour out of this demo. The sound effects in the game are okay, though. I mean, there's these tiny little dragon things that fly around, and when you kill them, they make a really weird noise, which was not off-putting, by the way, but it is. I just found the noises they made very weird. Okay, that's not a gripe. That's just a observation, shall we say? But also, it does really feel good when you actually attack an enemy, and the noise you get and the feedback you get from when the crunch of your weapon hitting an enemy is actually pretty good. I think that's kind of important. It doesn't really get spoken about a lot in games like this, that kind of thing, that kind of level of detail, but I actually think that's kind of important. So it's the feedback you get from actually attacking an enemy, and it's pretty good in this game. I don't know if there's any inspirations that the developer may have taken into account when developing this game. On their Steam page, it says it's kind of a Souls Light kind of game, but in terms of combat, but I don't see that personally. I don't understand where that comes from, apart from the fact that combat isn't even difficult in this game. I did die a fair few times in this game, admittedly, as I did in Souls. Maybe that's it, but like, I don't see the evidence of this being anything to do with Souls. I know it's only Souls Light, but I didn't really see that myself, if I'm being honest with you. So I couldn't actually pin down any kind of inspiration from this game, which isn't a bad thing, by the way. It's just I was trying to pin this to something and I couldn't. That's all. There was a couple of issues I want to bring up about how the game feels. Personally, I think it controls very well. I used an Xbox controller, as I love to use a controller for games like this. I think it's just a very personal preference of mine. But there is full controller support, which is important for people who like that, just like myself. So that's good. You can use a keyboard if you want, but you can use a controller. But I was able to sort of attack this bear from underground and clip through the ledge that he was standing on and defeat him, which is a way to cheese enemies in this game, because your spear is actually kind of long and got a bit of reach, and it actually clips through walls, so you can actually defeat enemies like that, which I'm not sure that was purposely developed or built in like that so that you could do that, but that's just something I was able to do, and I feel like that needs a bit of work before we go into the main game. And fully release the game. Also, there appeared to be these small little ledges that looked as if I could jump across them or bounce on them or something, but I wasn't able to do so, and every time I jumped on them I would just fall straight through them. I'm assuming that might be that I need some sort of ability to get first and then come back to it. It's a Metroidvania, so you do have to collect abilities as you progress through the game and then backtrack to where you couldn't progress before and go through that time. But there will be a lot of more abilities to collect in the game, which I'm looking forward to. Using combat with the spear felt pretty good, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else they can use the spear for. It's kind of like an acrobatic style combat, and you can also use your spear to latch onto obstacles and buildings and stuff and climb up your spear and get further higher up, which is pretty cool. I see also in videos that you can actually throw your spear and then sort of teleport yourself to where the spear lands, which is pretty cool. Also, you're going to be able to throw your spear and hit a ceiling above and then sort of grab hold of your spear and then swing across to another platform, which looks cool. So, yeah, like I said before, I think the acrobatic stuff with the spear is probably the best thing that the game has going for it, in my opinion. There also seems to be a day and night cycle in this game, so I'm not really sure what it does in total, but I was fighting against a bear or something, and the bear killed me. And I respawned exactly where I was killed, and it was nighttime at that point now instead of daytime when I was killed. And the bear was now sleeping because it's nighttime, and then I was able to kill the bear because he was asleep. So that was interesting. I'm not really sure exactly what the purpose of day and night cycles are meant to be for. Maybe it just means that certain enemies appear during nighttime only and stuff like that, or fall asleep apparently. So that you can kill them, which is pretty cool, I suppose. But I'm not really sure exactly, but I'm sure I'll find out with more research. There were some things I didn't really understand about controlling the character. For example, if you hold B on the Xbox controller, your character kind of plays a little tune and makes your spear into like some horn where you play a song out of. And I don't know what that did or does. So I thought it might heal you or something like that, but I'm not really sure if it actually did that, if I'm being honest. I should have checked my hearts as I was playing it, but yeah, that. My guess is something to do with healings, but I wasn't completely sure, and I don't think it was ever explained during the demo as to what that does. Speaking of healing, down on the bottom left is when you can see the day and the night cycle on the very far left, and also to the right of that you can see other things like your hearts and how much health you have and stuff like that, and also your currency that you pick up. I don't think I used my currency in the demo, so I'm sure you can in the full game. Obviously use it to purchase upgrades and stuff like that, which is going to be fun, obviously. Metroidvanias, they all have that feature and functionality, so... and being a big fan of Metroidvanias apparently these days, I'm looking forward to seeing what else they can add. After dying a certain amount of times, the game actually put me right back to the beginning of the demo, which is something to be aware of, by the way, because I don't know if it resets everything and you start literally from scratch at that point, but all the chests that I'd broken open and gathered the coins out of had all reset, so I had to get them again and stuff like this, and all the enemies were back, and the bigger boss type of enemies, I don't know if they were actually bosses, but the bigger enemies were back and I had to fight them again, and yeah, so it basically started me off from the very beginning of the demo again. So I don't know if that's like an intentional thing in the main game where you're going to have to start all over again. I assume not, but it's kind of confused me a little bit, shall we say, and I didn't really understand why I had to start all over again, but I kind of did. So yeah, just something to be aware of if you want to play the demo or the full game yourselves. On the whole, with Slavania, I think the game has got potential. Like I said, the best thing about it for me was the use of your spear and how that's going to progress as you progress through the game itself. I just feel that certain things are holding it back a little bit. Like I said, I like the hand-drawn style. The art direction is cool, is good enough for me, and I just think there's just a bit too much going on. You know, there's too much to look at on the screen sometimes, and maybe a more less is more approach would have actually benefited this game more than putting so much stuff on the screen to look at all at once. I don't know. Maybe the camera could be done with zooming out a little bit as well, because it looks like a bit too close to the screen. Also, I noticed when you throw your spear, you have to obviously call the spear back. Otherwise, you won't be able to use your spear in combat and stuff like that. But also, the camera sticks with the spear, so if you want to wander off without it, sometimes the camera will stay with the spear and you can't actually see what's ahead of you, which is a little bit tricky and confusing. But yeah, I feel like the less is more approach could have benefited in terms of looks for this game. It plays well. Like, it's good that, you know, controls work pretty well. You can slide around and stuff using the LB button, which is nice. It's cool to slide under. I was sliding under the legs of some big tall enemy, which felt pretty cool. Combat feels okay. It'll be nice to see what other chain attacks you can do with the full game, so that feels pretty good. And throwing the spear and using the spear to reach new heights and other areas is a cool feature too. But I just feel some elements could be worked on to make this game reach its full potential. Also, the music, you know, it cuts out, like I said, randomly in places for no reason. I don't know why. That needs work too, in my opinion. So hopefully that will be sorted out in time for the full release. But until that happens, we don't know what we're going to get yet at this point. Like I said, we don't know when the game fully releases. But if you want to give the demo a go yourselves, guys, and let me know what you feel about the demo, maybe you have a different opinion to me, feel free to do so. The link will be in the description, as I said before. And with that in mind, I am going to leave you to it to watch the rest of the video. So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you all. And I will catch you next time for another indie game. Take care of yourselves. See you later. Hey good peeps, thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you like what you see, and also catch me live on Twitch every Sunday, Tuesday and every other Friday, 8 PM UK time. I'll see you there. Back to the video.